I joined Toastmasters because I want to present at a conference. And I had yesterday that my action was accepted. Oh, so lucky. That will only be in September, and it will be on a total different topic. So tonight is just one of my presentation mastery tasks I should. And maybe as the Toastmaster, I can just also say that I just will give some comments at the beginning and that it's not part of the timing.
Yeah, you can do it. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you.
So
So
you can
my evaluator is Paul, and Paul, I joined only Toastmasters in February, just to give some background. So I'm quite new to everything. And then I already completed level 1, and then my mentor, which is Christine, suggested that I do level 3 first, and then I will go back and complete level 2. And previous critique or whatever I received, or comments or suggestions I received, Miranda last week said specifically, or the previous time said specifically, that I should look at my volume. So I want you to focus on that. And then also, I did once in my level 1 pathway, or my level 1 part of the path of presentation mastery. I did a presentation, and then the critique was that there was too much information on my slides, and also that the pictures didn't really match the information on the slides. So maybe we can also have a look at that.
Thank you, Estelle. Now, I'm really looking forward to this. AI is really infiltrating all parts of our lives at this stage. And I really hope that everybody pays attention to this speech, if nothing else, just for future reference. Ladies and gentlemen, a steer career between brains and bots.
What is my objective of this session tonight? And that is basically to tell you a little bit of what AI tools are available for a student or anyone who is involved in research. Also, to explore how AI can support your research, but not only how it can support your research, but also how to stay away from certain AI tools. And then, on that note, what is the ethical boundaries around the use of AI? I don't know if one of you, and I'm not going to show that video, but you will find it on YouTube. The student's name is Andre May, I don't know how to pronounce that. And it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago at his graduation ceremony. And as he walked across the stage, he walked with his laptop on the stage, and as he walked across the stage, he opened his laptop, and he laughed and he showed everyone. And he basically said that ChatGPT helped me to get my degree. Of course, there was a lot of critique of it on that, and they even said that they should take his degree away. They should just take him off the roll. He didn't really graduate. And then he said, in his defense, he said, my professors encouraged the use of AI. So this is the dilemma we are sitting currently with in Africa. How do we handle AI? You can literally employ AI in 2 ways. Either as an assistant, for example, as a grammar tool, and I'm using that a lot. And also you can use it as a research tool. And time is not on my side, so I'm going to rush through the research tools. But just to say that you can use AI in every phase of your research. From your literature review, your data collection, your data analysis, up to the final part of your referencing and your presentation. There's literally an AI tool for everything. Let's start with the beginning, and no, I don't want anyone to use this in research because these tend to be your content creation tools. You can literally go onto ChatGPT. I want to do a master thesis on the effect of chocolates on the brain. Please give me an outline, write an abstract, an introduction with a conclusion, give me a literature review. You can tell ChatGPT just what he needs to do, or she needs to do. We don't know if it's female or male. Similar tools to that is Gemini, Claude AI, Andamind is a very, very new one. Andamind is very, very new. So that is tools you can use, and content creation tools. Usually when our students are using this, without reworking and rewording again, they get flagged for plagiarism. It even leads to expulsion. Very, very dangerous. So then searching tools. One of the famous ones is R-Discovery. It's an app. You can go to the App Store and you can download it on your phone. A very, very nice tool for the searching of articles. The same with SciSpace. With SciSpace, that is the only tool I pay a subscription for. All the other tools I'm only using the free version of. At SciSpace, especially until after your literature review, a very good tool to use for the searching of articles. The same with Elicit, and I have a slide on Elicit. Remember, this is not databases, so you communicate with the tools as if you're having a conversation with the person. So you will tell the tool, how should library support masters and distance and doctoral students look like in the distance space? And the tool will give you the top 4 papers, and then down there you can click and more and more and more, together with columns for an abstract, for a finding, for the methodology, and you can add more columns as you want. Then perplexity and consensus, just because of time, I'm not going to focus on that, but it's either more additional research tools or searching tools. Then ChatPDF. If you have a certain article, I have a slide on that. There's an article of 29 pages. You can drop the PDF into ChatPDF and it will tell you, okay, this is the abstract, this is the introduction, and you can also communicate it to the tool. Does this article talk about brand perception or brand strategy? No, this article does not talk about brand perception, only about brand strategy. And it will give you more detail around that. So in a single page, ChatPDF will give you that in seconds. You can also listen to it in audio, so you don't even have to read it. And then literature mapping. Why is this important? Because you don't want to get to your supervisor and he said, no, how could you miss that article? Especially good for several sources, Research Rabbit, and it literally goes into down the rabbit hole. You can pop one PDF in there and it will map all the different articles related to that one PDF in the published field. The blue ones are articles not related to your collection, and the green ones are articles related to the collection you already have. Research Rabbit is absolutely a wonderful tool. Then we get to grammar tools. Once again, be careful. I was once flagged for the use of AI, and I said to my supervisor, I didn't use any AI. He said, well, you use something. I said, Prof, I only use Grammarly. And he said, yeah, is Grammarly an AI tool? So yeah, Grammarly is an AI tool. Be careful for that, because Turnitin and our AI detection tools is picking up Grammarly. Then data analysis, Atlas DI. I know some of you knows Atlas DI. It's actually a software tool, but it has some AI capabilities. Very good, especially for qualitative data analysis. Up to the point of referencing. I can give you a screenshot of my referencing Douglas Terra. So now my supervisor says, okay, but I want something more about strategic branding. Then I can literally do a search, strategic branding, and it will pop up under the articles which is talking about strategic branding. If I go in there, it will show you where in the article it talks about strategic branding. In the end, you just click on add your reference list and it adds your whole reference list. Is it too good to be true? Can you rely on AI tools when doing research? Yes, it is too good to be true. Never rely on AI tools. You always need to go back. You always need to double check, is this really a credible article? Remember what's on stake here, a degree. So you really can't just rely on AI tools and not checking everything. Be clear in the use of any AI tool. Thank you so much.
between 5 and 7 minutes. It was actually now 7:15.
Still in time. Still in the 30 seconds. You're good.
Miriam, any comments?
Nothing from my side. I think all was
So, stay up. My job is driving me mad with AI generated content because you ask someone for a presentation and they give you something that is generated by Marnus, and it's a slideshow that's technically a slideshow, so the dimensions are out, everything's wrong. So my question is actually, how much AI have you used in the preparation of this presentation?
No, in the I use only presentation software, which is PowerPoint. Usually I use Canva, so pictures and everything from Canva, which is actually a web or an app. But I didn't use AI for this presentation. But in my studies I use AI. I use AI for referencing, I use AI for data analysis. So I make use of AI, but the whole thing of AI is when you're doing a degree or you're studying is that you need to be clear. You need to say, for this presentation, I used Grammarly, I used it to create my grammar, my rules, my tag, because English is not my mother tongue, and I used it to result in question 3.2. This is my prompt. This is a link to the chat, and you know, if you clear it, that is okay. But otherwise, it's a big problem.
Any questions from the floor?
just a comment. My mom is so obsessed with ChatGPT. Like every time you say you have a tummy bug, she's like, "Did you check ChatGPT? Give us a solution." Like everything ChatGPT, you want to find a recipe. ChatGPT will help. So I think, do you think it's good for our parents to use, or because it seems like she's overlooking?
I think in everyday life it's good, it's not good for medical advice, and sometimes it will tell you, I can't dish out medical advice. But you know what my daughter did her master's at university very close by, and one of her lecturers said, I wish I could marry ChatGPT, because at least I can have a decent conversation.
No arrogance there.
That's a dig at his wife, honestly. I have one, yes. And maybe it's not just to you, but to the floor. Have you noticed since AI has become available and it's an incredibly short amount of time that we've had access to AI? Months, not even years. Have you noticed that it's made you lazy? I'm so lazy.
Definitely, because now you want to send, I mean, it happened last year, we had a short meeting, it was around Christmas, one of the ladies wanted to show us something, she opened the screen and there it was on the screen, she asked ChatGPT how to send Christmas wishes to her manager. and that is the problem, and it's the critical thinking, and the creativity, and the argument skills, and the writing of students, we are so worried about. Definitely amazing. Thank you for that.
Any more questions from the floor? Stefan?
Do we now have AI that's detecting whether something is of AI?
Say again?
Do we now have AI detecting whether papers are generated from AI?
Yeah, that is the problem.
Anti-AI AI.
Yeah. and that is the problem that you know, people or academics will try, universities will try to add more AI tools to detect AI. But it's also every day there's something new, and the student is always just a little bit more clever than you are. So they know the AI tools much better than we do.
They should be the lecturer.
Dr. Paul Miller to please deliver the evaluation of the studies.
You cut out, Doctor. How long have you known me for? Right. Yes, Dave. It's a pleasure to be up here and evaluating you. You feel like you've been around a long time, and I know it's only been a precious few months. I know that when we first met, you were saying that you really wanted to boost your confidence ahead of this possible conference, and congratulations on the abstract. But I think that in many ways you're already definitely on the way there, and I think we would all agree with that, we would really see that. So I'm going to be a little bit harder than I would be, right, today, because you are more confident. You have developed quickly. So a little bit more information than I would normally give to someone who's just a few months into starting it. I know you want a magnificent start, it's a confident start. Let's do the positives first. You have a warm and interesting voice. You have an immediate presence, you're not also hunched and nervous and down. You're far more confident than you were at the beginning of the conversation. You show good large gestures when you need to say something with your body. So, no. Okay, that was an example of something that you did. And I think this ability to use more expansive movements demonstrates more confidence to the average speaker. One of the things that you do a little bit more of is a lot of small movements. So if I can give you something to challenge yourself, it might be to try and control some of those movements a little more, because it feels sometimes as though you're too emphatic, and then your body subconsciously you remember and you use your larger movements as well. And I think we're all sometimes less we're all a bit, we use these small micro gestures a bit, and when we're trying to remember what the next bit is, we do a little bit more fiddling. These are small differences that I'm pointing out to you, but this is ahead of your professional presentation later on this year. Okay, what else might you want to consider working on? When I talk to you in the pub afterwards, you've got a very fluid conversational tone. And when you stand up here, like everybody else who comes to deliver a speech, there's a methodology. Whether you like it or not, subconsciously or not, you have a persona that you deliver. And the persona for you is one of warm engagement, and it's a slightly higher pitch, salesy, engaging, right? You're engaging with conversation. And one of the things that you then get stuck on is this slight monotone of being always at this positive, slightly American, higher pitch, not American in accent, but it is that methodology, right, or Australian, that sort of thing. I wonder if sometimes you might vary a little bit more. So if you were talking about more and more, instead of more and more and more, you might go more and more and more, okay? And it would maybe be advantageous to you to create the vocal variety in all sincerity. I'm not just picking on this as minutiae. I really think it would improve your speech somehow if you enhanced your vocal variety. And you could use, you do use the up, Now, how could you miss with that article, right? But you use the down as well. Let me hear a little bit more vocal variety, please. To challenge yourself a little bit more as well, I would say you want fewer slides or ask for more time. I'm out of time, ask for it. I'm not going to ask you that this. Thank you very much.
Preparation for my professional speech, and also because I need to make up a little bit of time waiting for dinner. Is there any feedback from the floor that anybody would like to give to us? I'd like to start by echoing Paul's last comment of simply ask all the time. It was fascinating, and I've got a massive list of AI tools that I want to go look at now. but I had trouble keeping up with this.
I've got a few.
Yeah,
Oh. No. I said I've got a few of these.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do have a comment. Regarding your volume, better. Much better. But when you speak quicker, the volume immediately drops. There's two exercises that I'd like you to do. They're drama exercises, but I'd like you to do after. We can talk about during the dinner. Okay. That'll help. But in all likelihood, you're going to be speaking on a microphone.
Yes.
Yes. So but this would be for general lecturing and that sort of thing. We can help.
yeah.
A couple of points, thank you, very interesting. And by the way, AI is not new. We've been using AI for years in various forms. I mean, Google Maps is AI. So it's not something that's happened in the last 6 months. And a very interesting book is called The Hitchhiker's Guide to AI by a friend of mine called Arthur Goldstone. So if you want to go and read about AI and how it developed, you can go read that. A couple of points for you. Some of the slides were very, very busy. And I know you're trying to emphasize that perhaps it's an information overload, but we're straining to try and read what's on those slides. So have a think about that and look at that. Most of them are quite clear, but there were a few, particularly you searched for something that came up with a whole load of information. And the other one that you were doing, I noticed, I hope I don't do it later, which you were turning to look at the screen. You should be still behind the computer, so the computer's in front of you, so you're looking at the slide on the computer, not on the screen behind you. You turn around to look at what's going on. Now, some venues, when you're doing a conference, have a screen literally right in front of the stage, which is fantastic, but that's not normally the case. So you do need to be able to see the computer can rather than turn on the screen.
Steve.
I mentioned that if you look on Basecamp, there's a company about Udemy. And they also have it on presentation on PowerPoint. They have a coach. So you can actually press that and it monitors your tone, your highs and your lows.
Using AI.
Yeah, definitely. But it monitors because we don't know, I've used it a few times and I realize that I don't have that much. So what Paul said, I think that is relevant for all of us. We tend to hit a level, and that's where we are. We might fluctuate, but they're on obviously when I'm practicing it, I exaggerate it, and then you can see it's actually going up. So I would recommend that you, for everybody, to use the Udemy and practice your speech, and then it gives you feedback.
Just on Ian's point there about some venues having the screen, and that's also part of what you show up early to check when you're checking your software. It's not just, oh, I've plugged it in, it works. It's also the strategic side of where should I stand? And just a minute or two of thinking about that before you're faced with the audience can be very helpful. But I'm just thinking back on what Ian said.
Just a comment. I started joining the platform, though I had some break for 2 months, and I started improved. It's impressive in so short time how much improved. And just to comment on your slides. You still have too much on your slides in a way that if you have something that's not helpful to others, a lot of information is probably should be there. Or if you want to say about so many options for AI, like you can list it and focus on one, as you want to present as a whole, that one is better, right? But having too many, like you start rushing with your presentation to get it all done. So it was, in that way, it should be cut so that you can have that chance tomorrow. But otherwise, it's great.
Peter,
So this is more of a, if you want to cut stuff, thinking about it. Something I would have cut from this slide was the YouTube video. Like it didn't seem to contribute to the rest of the speech, and that's an easy thing to cut, and it's just going to give you so much breathing room. And something that I also found, like when I want to cut stuff, I have to go back to my slide and think, okay, what are the important points I really want to get across, and then just sacrificing the rest. It's fun. I might have spent half an hour making them, but they're not going to fit. I'm just going to have to sacrifice.
Yes, the video, the YouTube video, I actually wanted to show it. It's a short video, but it is about 40 seconds of not speaking and just in context to the speech.
Yeah.
So it would be so great, but I decided before the speech that I'm not going to show it because it will be more less time. But my other problem is that I get so worked up about AI because we have so many problems with AI. So I think that is also one of the reasons why I thought we hire.
You're pretending we're your students.
After Ronald's assignment, I really chipped in and I know there's AI in, but I can't pinpoint it,
to that point, I'm acting as an